Showtime. Hello, welcome. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're tuning in, this is Tiffany. I am your friendly inner transformation specialist, and in particular, I specialize in helping intuitives tune back into themselves, and that's exactly what this live is about today, because I've been chatting to a few of you in my Facebook group, and I gave you a little poll with a few options to say which one is really resonating or bugging you. And the one that won was, drum roll please, why is it that being an intuitive can feel more like a curse than it does a blessing? And how can you turn it around so that it feels more like a blessing than a curse? And that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today, okay? Now, if there is one thing for you to take away from today, this would be it. So listen very carefully. I don't know, I might only say this once, I might say it a few times. We will see how it goes. But the reason that being an intuitive can feel more like a curse than it does a blessing is, truth bomb coming, that if you are intuitive, you don't have very good boundaries. Yeah, there you go, I said it. If you're an intuitive, you don't really have very good boundaries, because if you did, you wouldn't be picking up on so much, okay? So what do you do with that? Because if you don't have good boundaries in your life, then your life becomes chaotic. It becomes dramatic. It's like trying to climb a mountain that's a sandcastle. Does anybody feel me? Hi, Julia. Good to see you here. I think you feel me. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you here too. So, what does this mean? Is there a way that you can be intuitive and you can actually have good boundaries? You know, I thought about this because it was when I started to do good boundary work that actually my life started to, I guess, become boring. In a way, there's something about not having boundaries that can be quite exciting. There's something about not having boundaries that can be a little bit addictive, because it's drama. It's like being addicted to the drama. It's like, this is exciting. This is interesting. Like, I've probably got a godzillion books in me, really. So first of all, you kind of have to work through that addiction point to the place of like, actually, you know, life can be peaceful, and that is actually amazing, and that's not necessarily boring. That's the first thing. And the second thing is to realize that actually, if that is how you have been operating, oh, another truth bomb coming, it doesn't mean that you've been using your intuition. It means you've been using out tuition. And now you're probably there going, what the heck is Tiffany on? What the heck is out tuition? Is it even a word? No, I made it up, but I'm about to tell you in a minute exactly what out tuition is. We're going to do a quick run through of the 10 symptoms of out tuition. Hi, Sue. Good to see you here. Hi, Rowena. Good to see you here too. So I'm going to actually share screen with you now so you can see them. Here we go. Nice to see you too, Antonetta. Okay, so I'd love to know where you resonate with these. So tell me which ones really stick out for you. Okay. But basically, what I've noticed from my own life and from working with intuitives for many years now, I've noticed that we tend to suffer from these symptoms. Number one is over emotional misunderstandings. Number two is feeling everything personally, taking everything personally. Everything becomes about us. Number three is struggling to know our own reality, because when we take everything personally, then how can we know what is ours and what is real? Number four is making assumptions that cause drama because we're intuitive, right? So, yeah. Then number five, over trying, overdoing, and overwhelm. I see that again and again and again with intuitives. Number six, not knowing, or mixing up your needs and wants. So you may not know what you want or what you need, or you may mix them up. Like when you're tired, you might eat. That's one of mine. I'm just using it as an example. Can't express yourself until it's too late because you don't know what you need or what you want. And then you bounce from no boundaries to big barriers. Okay. And then you end up feeling like you don't belong, and you struggle to obtain healthy self-esteem. These are, I would say, the 10 curses of using your intuition as outtuition. And you might be there thinking, well, actually, no, Tiff, my curse is that I see things before they happen, or something along those lines. That is happening because you are picking up from stuff from the outside. It's because there is a boundary piece that is happening. Okay. So I guess the question really is, how can you be intuitive and actually have boundaries? Because it feels like, as I just said, when I started practicing boundaries, everything on a psychic level really calmed down. Maybe I need to tell you a little bit of my own story. So I was incredibly psychic as a child. I literally had experiences of ectoplasm. I'm not kidding. I lived in haunted houses all the time. There were strange things happening all the time. When I was 4, I channeled my mum's painting that I'd never seen, that won an art competition. I was the weird child, and I lived with spirit. I was an only child, and mum wasn't around a lot. Dad wasn't around at all. So I tuned in to something else other than, normal, shall we say. Now, this happens a lot in the intuitive's life, or the outuitive's life in childhood. If your parents don't feel safe to you, if your parents have needs or wants that become apparent to you as a child as important, and so you learn to suppress your needs and your wants to tune in to your parents' needs and wants. So basically, you're becoming intuitive. You're trained by your childhood to be intuitive, but actually it's not intuition, it's outtuition. You are tuning out of yourself, your needs and your wants, to tune into your caregiver. Because if their needs or wants aren't met, then what's going to happen to you? So it becomes a survival pulse, but it's incredibly damaging because there's no time out. It's 24/7, and you learn how to, you're just always on that. you're always switched on in that way. And that was very true for me. My mum, bless her, has had a lot of problems in her life, which I think is why Dad wasn't around. And so then I was left in a situation that he wasn't going to be in, put it that way. And so, you know, I was very tuned into my mum, it being just me and my mum. And it was, I guess the way to say it is I lived my childhood on eggshells and tuned into her and her level of anxiety, which is extreme. And I'd done that at such a level that it had traumatized my aura so much and weakened my aura so much that everything came in. Wherever I was, everything came in. And that happened to be my life until I was, you know, I made a damn good professional career out of it, winning awards, being on TV, writing books. You know, it was, but it was full on. Wherever I was sent, you know, I would pick up on anything, anywhere. I remember staying at a friend's house. Well, I was staying with a friend in her friend's house. I'll just tell you this story quickly. And what happened was I went to bed and I was in that zone of in between sleep, and I could tell that there was a guy walking down the hallway. And then he came in the room and he looked miffed and he went, "Oh," and then like walked back out again. And I saw all of this in my mind's eye, but it really felt strong. And I said to my friend in the morning, I told her what happened, and she said, "Oh, I should have known if anybody would pick up on it, you would. That was my friend's brother's bedroom. He's just died of cancer." And I was like, "Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know that." And this would be the case, you know, wherever I went. I used to stay away from home to do the psychic work on TV. I used to stay at friends' houses in London, and it was like every weekend I'd be sent somewhere else to, you know, whoever's home I'd happen to be in, there'd happen to be something going on there, entity removals, everything. So I'd be like reading for people on the TV or reading like 16 people a day, and then I'd come back, and before I could get to sleep, if I got to sleep at all, I'd have to do massive clearings because I didn't have any boundaries. And that was something that was an issue for me throughout my life. I was so tuned in. I was such a transcender, shall we say, that it was a real problem. It caused massive problems in my relationships. And I had to actually get to the point of realization that I was a boundary offender myself. And that is a hard pill to swallow. But if you stick with me for this series, I will be going live 2 times a week. So I will be back live with you on Wednesday, and I'm going to go through each one of these. So it's going to take, I'm no good at maths, 5 weeks. It's going to take 5 weeks to go through all of these symptoms with you. And if you tune in for each one, you will get massive ahas about how to have boundaries and intuition, because now I am in a place where I can feel when I am in outtuition, which feels frantic and anxious, and I can feel when I'm in intuition, which feels soft and relaxing. And that is actually way more powerful. Like when I'm in that soft, relaxing intuition, I just know, I can just feel what needs to happen. That frantic outtuition might be really exciting, but it's not really very, it's not going to serve you. It doesn't matter how strong your intuition is. If you don't have your self-esteem, you won't make the right decision. And you don't have self-esteem if it's like that, but you don't, you know, it's like you are tuned out of yourself. So it's all about other people. So it's other esteem. It's like your self-esteem is broken, and it's about getting it from relationships, generally with intuitives, being tuned into someone else, being empathic, and it doesn't work. So I'm going to come back and see if there's any questions, and do bear with me because I've hardly had any sleep, and so I feel a little bit zoned out. But hopefully that is showing you the main point of this video, which is why you as an intuitive may be feeling like it's a curse rather than a blessing. It's these 10 symptoms, okay? And how to turn it back around, okay, is to work on, having boundaries. But as you can see here, it says bouncing from no boundaries to big barriers. Actually, the work is in these 2 points, 10 points. Told you I hadn't slept very well. So you do really need to follow the series, but it is generally about, are you using your intuition or are you using your outtuition? So you could try practicing that already between now and Wednesday if you wanted to. You could just ask yourself the question every time you feel something, are you using intuition, i.e. tuning into you, or are you using outtuition, i.e. tuning out of you and into someone else? It's very, it's a deep subject. I am going to have to segment it into these 10 symptoms, 1 per live. So I'm going to do that 2 lives over the next 5 weeks, Friday and Wednesday, okay? At 1 p.m. BST time. Let me come back and see if there's any questions. La la la. Okay, so great. Rowena's saying, if I'm honest with you, the only one I don't feel applied to me is number 2. All the others spot on. Now, this also comes down to interpretation. So maybe that's right, Rowena. Maybe you don't take anything personally, okay? But I'm going to share screen again. Share screen. Oh, dear me. Did I just close it? Yes, I did. Okay, well, number 2 is taking anything personally, right? Now, number 2 and number 3 are very linked to each other, not taking things personally and causing assumption or making assumptions that cause drama. So if you had said to me 2 and 3 don't fit, it would have made a little bit more sense, but I would still be skeptical, okay? Because if you are making assumptions that cause drama in your life, you are probably taking things personally, because to take something personally is an assumption. If we take something personally, we assume, okay? So if you're making assumptions, it's so hard to know when we're taking things personally. We only really know it if we get the information. I'll give you a little story about, we have a cat that we co-parent. Some of you know that. And this cat went missing at the same time that we got a kitten, and she didn't like the kitten. And so, I mean, her owner was distraught. We were all distraught and really worried. It was hot, and we were worried that what had happened. Is she got shut in a shed, or has she gone off because she really wasn't liking the kitten? I don't know, but I felt guilty. I thought it was because I got a kitten and that was it. You know, she didn't like the kitten, and that was that. She'd gone off in a sulk. I'd taken it personally, when what had actually happened was she got catnapped, okay? But if I'd had never have got that information, and this only happened a few weeks ago, and if I'd have never have got that information, I wouldn't have gone, oh my God, I actually took that personally. So sometimes we don't even notice when we're taking things personally, particularly if we never get the information. And so what I do is I help people through transformative tarot, because transformative tarot is really good practice for helping those 10 symptoms, because people, when they practice tarot, don't even realize that they're taking it personally. So for instance, you could be giving a reading with someone and you think that you're not connecting, when actually it's not that, it's that you're picking up on the other person who feels disconnected. So it's so second nature that we don't even really notice when it's happening. So that can be why you're not resonating with number 2. Maybe. I would bet my bottom dollar, but sit with it and see how you feel, Rowena. Okay. Julia is saying, as a child, I was a lot younger than my siblings, so I tuned into everyone's needs and wants. Interesting, that, Julia, isn't it? I mean, I'm an only child, so I don't know, but hearsay tells me, isn't that normally an elder child's role, is to be like the second mother and tune into everyone's needs and wants? So what is it that, okay, my sister is the closest in age to me and she's 11 years older. That's fascinating. So it's almost like being an only child in a way with other mothers, and then you had like multiple mothers to tune into because you were going the other way with it rather than the mother being tuned into you. Well, they are obviously to a degree, but it's amazing how much children actually learn to suppress what their needs are, and to actually tiptoe around the elders or caregivers, I guess is another way of saying it, not necessarily mothers. Yes. Okay. I'm with Mary J on the no more drama front. There you go. So you're up for the peaceful life now, are you? That's fantastic, Michelle. I know that your story is very similar to mine. Interesting, Marie. Interesting, Mirror. I'm going to be like another truth bomb here, but if all 10 of those are your husband, I'm going to bet the bottom dollar that all 10 of those are you as well. Okay. Yeah, it's how the dynamic works, okay, between 2 people, between 3 people, between my husband and me and my stepdaughter. We definitely had something called the drama triangle going on, which I will be speaking to you guys about in this next series as well. We will be addressing the drama triangle, but it's basically takes all of you to dance this dance. Okay, so if you're looking at your partner and you're thinking, yeah, mate, you got all of them, well, it's a mirror. Okay, so have a look at that and think, okay, where is that for me as well? Because I'll bet your bottom dollar it's playing out, and that's what the connection, or that's how, it's like it needs rewiring somehow, but it wouldn't work if you weren't on that same level in the first place. For instance, when my husband told my father-in-law that he was marrying me, he said, I know why you like Tiffany. It's because she's the bloody hippie and she thinks the way you used to think. And it's like, there's something a bit wrong there, isn't there? Because like, if I thought the way that he used to think, then he'd have grown out of me, when really what was happening there was that, he wasn't actually telling his dad. He doesn't tell his dad who he is anymore. So that's a completely different example, but the same thing applies. Like, there is something where your thinking is connected, otherwise there would be no connection. Does that make sense? Yeah. Aha, boom, Julia, I got it. Being an only child with several parents. Wow. Okay, all right. And I know that you've done some of this work with me previously, and hopefully these little lives over the next couple of weeks will really help embed that as well. So yeah, okay, boom, that's a lot. Sue says, I'm so up for the peaceful life. I'm so pleased to hear it. That's really good. And my life mirrors yours, Tiffany. There you go. Exactly. Oh yes, children suppress because they know no alternative. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Marie says probably with a big smiley face. Okay, so there you go. There's the reason why intuition feels like a curse rather than a blessing. And if any of those 10 fit for you and you want to speak to me about how I can actually help you start to rewire this properly, then there is a link in the post, I believe. I can't get that up at the moment, but you can click that. I've got 5 sessions available this week, and it's a free, non-obligatory session with me where we just check in with each other and go, okay, this is the situation, what from here? So if you would like one of those, please click the link. There is 5 available this week. And I will see you on Wednesday when we will look at how for now. So how for today, how you change that curse to a blessing today is to say, I'm done with the drama and I'm okay with the boundaries. Boundaries are different from big barriers, so we will go into that as well. But maybe just ask yourself between now and Wednesday, am I coming from intuition, tuning within to me, or am I coming from outtuition, tuning into another? If you're coming from outtuition, it will feel angst-ridden, and that is where things will start to feel like a curse. So just reverse it. Just be like, am I coming from outtuition or intuition? Okay, outtuition. So I'm now coming back into me, and I am going to tune into my needs and my wants. Yes. And then I will be back with you on Wednesday, and I'm trying to work out what I'm doing on Wednesday. I am like struggling with what I'm doing today after not sleeping much last night. So excuse me if I'm a little bit away with the fairies, but I'm coming back to you on Wednesday with something to do with breakups. That's it. Why intuitives have more breakups, breakdowns, and blended families, and how to have a harmonious and happy family. We'll go and run by the 10 symptoms again and show how that links in with them there, but I will talk to you about that then. If you would like that session, please do just click the link and don't be shy, come through, do the application form, let's have a chat. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to really help you because there has never been anything like Intuitives Anonymous. I've had to go through intuitive recovery by myself, and those 10 things that I've showed you there is my work from the years and years and years of working with intuitives. So I can help you rewire your relationship with yourself, the universe, and your relationships. All right, so I'll leave you with that. And I'm wishing you a very wonderful weekend. Okay, take care. Lots of love. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.